Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's ANSO Fireside. My name is Manuel Calo, and I am honored to be here with you on this special evening, February 19, 2025. Thank you for all joining us, whether you're watching live on YouTube, LinkedIn, or tuning in through Zoom. Tonight, we are bringing you a powerful conversation on leadership and where ANSO is going now. Um, First, let me introduce our fantastic host for the evening, Danisa D. James. This is a dynamic leader, passionate advocate for mentorship, and someone who knows how to bring out the best in our conversations. She will be guiding us throughout tonight's discussion, ensuring we get the most out of this session. Now, of course, our future speaker, Jose Luis Montalvan, knows as Presidente of ANSO. Jose has been a driving force in shaping leaders, fostering professional development, and advocating for mentorship and community impact. His journey is on to resilience, dedication, and commitment to breaking barriers. And tonight, he's going to share his insights with us. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer: the views and opinion expressed in the Fireside are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect official policy or position of ANSO, the United States Navy, Marine Corps, or any other government entity. We encourage you to engage with us throughout the session. Drop us your thoughts and questions in the chat, and we will address as many we can. Now let's get started. Please join me to welcome our president, and let's get started with the Isani.
Hi everyone, how is everyone doing? I hope you're having a great evening, a great afternoon. I am in Virginia, so for me, it's a great evening, and we are actually getting some heavy snow over here. And if you didn't know, Virginia is not like Colorado, where President Montalvan is at. We kind of freak out a little bit when we get a couple of inches of snow, and as you can imagine, everything is shut down. But what is not shut down, it is the Fireside Chat. And today we are here to welcome a conversation about the way forward of ANSO. And I do want to welcome Nicole Maldonado and our Vice President, Diego Londoño, and of course, our more than like always super helpful and very talented podcast technical support, Manuel Calo. And President Montalvan, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I am in my car.
I can see
For
we're
soccer practice to
adapting.
start. Yeah, so right after this, I'm going to change over and go and coach about 19 kids some football and get ready for the World Cup.
That's amazing. And what are the temperatures in Colorado right now for these kids to be playing soccer outside?
Well, we're gonna be indoors, so it's okay. It's 18 degrees, but it's not too bad. Windshield factor is probably around 5, but it's all right. They can survive. They're perseverant. They got perseverance and dedication, so we're all good.
And they're kids, right? This is probably
Yeah,
like nothing for them. Once they get
yeah.
running and going, like it's just like another day in the playground, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. But obviously we're here for a reason. We want to talk about the way forward, and we're gonna do it short and quick. Quick and to the point. It's gonna be about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so go ahead, throw me some questions, and we'll go with what's next.
Yeah, so I do want to acknowledge we do have Carmen Chrisman, and we have Stephanie Espinosa and Brooke Oates as well joining us. And this is amazing because I really do I am interested in to know, like, we have had a lot of recent change and new challenges, right? Which I honestly see like times like this, whether it's the military or in our work, in our community, in school, right, as opportunities to learn and move forward and like discover what else are we capable of, like what are we like to use our resilience, right? So talking about like ANSO's way forward. Like, where are we going in 2025? Like, what is ANSO going to do to continue this development of leaders for 2025 and moving on?
All right. So as everybody knows, we're a nonprofit association, right? And based on the executive order from our, for our commander in chief, we no longer have MOUs with the services. We don't have with the Coast Guard, the Navy, or Marine Corps. And that's okay, right? Most of us are active duty. We're going to adhere to the guidance and directions that we have received. As such, we are going to follow them. We're going to do everything that has been told. There's no questions about what we're going to do. Now, from the ANSO perspective, right, our mission is unwavering. We're still going to continue to support our services in the recruitment, retention, promotion, and personal and professional development of Hispanics, Latinos, and everybody else that needs it in order to ensure that our country continues to be safe and we continue to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. As such, when we're looking at that, we're right now, right, with the help of General Garza, Major General Garza, we're going to continue to do the scholarships. Right now, we have $1,500 scholarships that are going to be awarded by the end of March. We are doing the Fireside chat as Jose Montalvan, not as with rank and all that is used for identification purposes, but as my off-time, duty or volunteer work. We're going to continue with the podcast. We are going to continue with the magazine. We are going to continue to provide virtual training for the professional and personal development of our service members. We are going to continue to work in assisting our junior leadership, per se, our JROTC cadets, our high school students, to ensure that there are opportunities available for them. We will do everything that we have been doing, with the exception, obviously, that relationship with the services. But our mission is unwavering, right? We know what we're doing. We know what we're going to do, and that is ensure that our military continue to be the strongest in the world and continue to defend and support the Constitution.
And that's amazing. Thank you for reassuring, right? And for just reiterating what ANSO's mission and purpose is, which I don't think it has really anything to do with anything that is either political or whether it's the left or the right or anything. We're here to develop and mentor leaders that are going to contribute to the mission of protecting and defending our country. And whether you are red, white, and blue, purple, yellow, green, or whatever it is, we are here to support that mission, right? And our community, it is to be supportive, and that's what we're here for. And that's one of the things that I loved about ANSO, is how inclusive it was, not just from the maritime services, right? I am an Army veteran, and I was welcomed with open arms, and I wouldn't even have ever thought of being a member of this organization, but you guys have showed me how inclusive it is and what you bring to the table as far as your mentorship, your background, and the contributions you want to make to the future of our armed forces, right, is what really matters. And so I thank you for reiterating that ANSO is going to continue with its mission, and that this is times of change, right? And I will say, times of change for me are opportunities for learning, opportunities to discover what I probably didn't even know I could do. But because of this change and this new kind of way that we're looking at things, I find myself saying like, oh, I didn't know I could even be okay, or like I could feel this comfortable doing or looking at things of this in this manner, right? We are progressing and moving forward towards the same mission, which is to protect the United States and the American Constitution. and it doesn't really matter, right? We're here to develop leaders. I would like to hear from our guests that are in the audience, Stephanie, Brooke, Carmen, and Diego and Nicole. Like, what are the burning questions? What are you wanting to see and hear from ANSO? What are some of the things that you want to see moving forward? What is it that you want to make sure that we address and that we highlight in our future?
Well, I am really sorry. This is Carmen. I am really curious to see what we are going to be like. The stuff that we put in the magazines is going to be slightly limited. So I'm curious about the magazine. I obviously talked to the president, so I know what my role is, kind of, sort of. Still trying to figure it out. I'm going to be a mentor, basically, without any, affiliations to the military. But yeah, I was kind of curious to see how the magazine is gonna progress. Um, and yeah, just the way forward. But I know, like you mentioned earlier, D was that we are resilient. So and we always come on top. So I know it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, no, everything is going to be fine, right? It's that's I think that is the burning question, and I've been answering a lot, right? Like, how is this going to affect us and everything else? But overall, everything's going to be fine. When we're looking at, and we can go down the line on the pages that were on the magazine, right? We were sharing our stories, and we're highlighting some of the successes and majority of successes of service members, right? At the end, we can still talk about them from their perspective on a rank and billet identification only, right? We can say those disclaimers, and we can talk about their success and their awards. We're gonna have to be, we gotta adhere to the guidance, and it is right. Like, it is what it is. This is not, to me, is not something that restricts us. It just provides different opportunities to maximize and highlight what we are doing, right? So for us, we got a scholarship. Hey, let's maximize and the awareness of the scholarships, right? We got people that are still getting promoted and getting an award, right? Maybe we come up and tell their stories, but we don't put it in uniform, right? Because, like, honestly, when we get promoted, most of the time they secure us a half a day, and then we go and celebrate with the family and all that, and we take pictures. So I think that when things change, it brings a little bit of, I won't say chaos, but it brings a lot of creativity, right? So the beauty about it is that we're going to have some opportunities, and we're going to be able to become a little bit more creative on the way that we go forward. But that's, when ENSO started, technically, I don't know if there was an MOU, because I don't, I couldn't go find it. But I think that we're going to be more than okay, regardless of what it is. And this is what I'm going to say, right? We preach and we talk about adaptability, not only in the military, but also when we did our symposiums. We talk about development and becoming creative and seeking different opportunities and different ways to solve problems. Now, this is our opportunity to ensure that what we've been saying, right, is accurate, right? That we were not just saying empty words, that no kidding, we were backing it up. Now it's our opportunity to back it up, right? Hey, we're going to update the old man. Volunteer for the old man, right? Hey, if you want to volunteer as a mentor, let's volunteer as mentors. Let's not just say it because it sounded good on a soundbite, right? Let's talk about it. We talked about it. Now let's do something about it. And I think that is going to be the opportunity that we are looking forward to, right? But I'll say it, and everybody in this call and everybody that has heard me say, right? We follow the orders of the president. We are following the orders of the commander in chief, and those are active duty. We'll adhere to everything if they're associated with ENSO. We will not get into politics. We're not going to talk about all the other stuff. We are here to ensure that the recruitment, retention, promotion, personal and professional development continues of all the service members, not just that, right? Our mission is our mission because it was created in 1981, but at the same time, we will persevere. We will continue to develop and assist in the development of our future leaders, because we need to increase lethality, and we need to ensure that our Constitution remains intact against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And now I feel like I'm speaking like all motivated for me, but it's just trembling, right? Like, we just got to maximize that.
No, thank you for that, President. And like, I will have to just like double back on that and say that yes, and some of the questions in the chat right now is like, do we see us having a symposium this year? And maybe what about something virtual if we cannot have an in-person symposium? And that is exactly it, right? This is when we begin to get creative. This is when we begin to overcome like not necessarily obstacles, but like the new plane of the field, right?
Yeah.
Like what have we been handed off, right? Okay, so there's some new changes coming, and I don't know how many of you have read the book of like Who Moved My Cheese, but anytime
Well,
there's change, and like a lot of people are not really comfortable with that. But this is when our creativity and our ingenuity on overcoming and becoming resiliency comes to play. And yeah, I know that we have talked about, doing some virtual symposiums, right?
yeah, so that's a great question, and I appreciate you, Nicole, for saying that or asking that question. Same with Stephanie, right? The reality is that anyone that knows me for the most part, I tend to look at the negative side for the most part when it comes down to planning, right? Like what can go worse? What can it be the best way of approaching problems? So when all this started working out with the orders that we received and the guidance was received from the services, and that the MOUs were going to be rescinded, at that point I started looking at what we were going to do. So at the end, initially we were going to have a symposium at the Naval Academy. Obviously, that was changed, and we, as board directors for ANSO, we made the determination that doing a large symposium based on the limitations that we're going to have in May or June was not the right call. But we are looking at the possibility of doing a virtual symposium that will start in the afternoon on a Friday and then go through different opportunities of mentorship and speakers and training, right? We got El Puente that can continue to support us, and they have vouched for that. They also have talked about different things with Navy Mutual, and there's other companies and association organizations that they're going to continue to partner with us. So as such, we're looking at a virtual opportunity sometime in the summer, follow up with something that is going to be local, kind of like across all our chapters on the same day, coming December, where we are going to generate some locations efforts so that, in Hawaii, in Miami, in Norfolk, in DC, in San Diego, to ensure that we do an in-person, at least a one-day event, so that way we get that continued development and support for our service members that are across the nation and overseas. Is there, I think that there was something else. So, but that is what we're looking at. At the end, like I said, our mission is unwavering. We're going to continue to work towards the development and the recruitment, retention. One of our efforts, obviously, we talked about was the scholarships, $1,000 scholarships, working with JROTCs so that, those were, those hardworking and dedicated cadets and midshipmen are awarded properly for them for their future. So there's a lot of things that we're going to continue to do. The only thing that I don't necessarily see that right is based on the guidance that we receive is doing a large symposium, once every 6 months where people come from a different area and they fly to San Diego, they fly to Norfolk, but nothing stops us from doing events, monthly events like we have been doing at the local chapters.
Presidente, this is Diego here. Just wanted to ask you to, if you don't mind, just elaborating a little bit more on the power of the chapters right now and how important it is for us to stay connected to them. If you don't mind, just providing a little bit of visibility and elaborate a little bit more on that piece, which is so powerful to us right now.
Yeah, well, the chapters are being always powerful across the board, right? at one point or another, we, for a few years, we lost touch with the chapters because we started focusing solely on the symposium. Not a bad thing. It's just the way that it came out of COVID, right? And maybe a little bit earlier before that. But the chapter are the cornerstone for ANSO, the cornerstone for the majority of the associations that have been basically directed to do their own thing, right? SSLA, NNOA, all that. But the chapters are the cornerstone for our association. And as such, we're empowering them like we have for for a while now, to ensure that they do the monthly events, to ensure that they know that there's funding available, to ensure that they reach out to the members in the area, seek for mentors. So, but right now, what we're looking at is to empower them a little bit more than what we had before, to ensure that they know that they got the support from us, and at the same time to ensure that now they're providing a little bit more of a emphasis on the development of our service members. Before, we used to rely obviously on the 2 symposiums that we used to do, but now we need the chapters to ensure that they do one for networking, one for personal and professional development, and rotate those events on monthly basis or topics on monthly basis to ensure that we continue to meet our mission. Right? At the same time, they're still going to be engaging with JROTC cadets, participating and supporting our recruiting efforts. So those things don't change. Now the way that we do it is going to be modified to ensure that we meet the guidance. But the chapters have been, we got engagements with them every month, once a month on Zoom. They understand the guidance. They understand how ANSO is going to continue, and the importance of their participation in events, coordination, and execution. Does that answer your question, Diego?
Yes, indeed. And I think it's probably also important to, as we send this message out also to all our listeners and all those who are interested in connecting with ANSO, to know that chapters are available in their areas and how important it is for them to connect to those chapters. So if you're close to one of them, one of those chapters, please connect. And this is a wonderful opportunity just to make sure that you renew that commitment to that local chapter and continue to stay connected to them. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's good. I got, based on the timeline that we had talked with Dee, we got good for one more question. I wanted to ensure that we had this conversation out about the opportunities that, this change provides us. And most importantly, I wanted to communicate that ANSO was going to continue with the mission while adhering to the guidance that has been provided for us active duty members. But one more question. I got enough for one more question, but anyone has any questions, any concerns, anything that they want to talk about? Oh, no questions? All right.
Sir, so last questions here. So,
Yeah.
based on the conversation, what steps is ANSO taking to engage and develop the next generation of leaders, and how can members actively contribute to shaping the organization's future?
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. Did that come from you, Manuel, or from somebody else?
It's for me.
Okay, good. Hey, no, so right now, right, like we have talked about El Puente, I verified that they're still supporting us. They have a lot of leadership and personal development courses that they provide. We have Blue Dragon that we just voted, and I just got to sign that MOU to ensure that continues. But it's a development program for that is worth $23.99. That because you're an ANSO member, you can receive it for basically no cost. We're also looking at Navy Mutual to talk and provide some training for our members. So at the end, the chapters are going to be working with those partners, and also the body of directors, right? From the board of directors from the ANSO overall, it's going to be working with those partners to ensure that those are some of the steps that continue, so that they continue to be provided to the membership, and also for the people that are becoming, that are logging in and watching. The second piece that comes up is the chapters, right? Like the chapters are going to have mentors, and they're looking at mentorship, and they continue to talk about networking and connection and making those friendships, those lasting friendships. But we have the mentorship when it comes down to those events, when we do those events during the week after hours, or we do it during the weekends. And like I said, we're looking at the opportunities to conduct a virtual symposium. And at the same time, we're looking at how we're going to do a across all the chapters event in December, just kind of like we did our Western Region Symposium back in December this last year. So we're taking necessary steps to create partnership and not only make the partnerships that we have stronger, but also develop new partnerships to ensure that we continue to provide benefits for our members or for the service members across the services. There was a second part when it came down to your question, right?
Yes, sir. So how the members can actively contribute to shaping the organization's future?
Go ahead and ask. That was breaking up. I'm sorry.
Oh, sir. Yes, sir. So the second part of the question is like, how can members actively contribute to shaping the organization's future?
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that I was missing that out. I finally got it completely. So the members, hey, participate on the events, volunteer as mentors, right? We got all the locations and leadership positions that we need. We need some leadership position in San Diego. We need some in Norfolk. We need some in DC. I mean, just because we have membership right now, this doesn't mean that those members and leadership are not going to PCS, right? We're still active duty for the most part. So we need those positions to be filled so that we can continue to support and continue to mentor. Now, there was another piece that comes in with the advocate. Nicole asked how we're going to continue to advocate through underrepresented in the services, right, for policy changes. Well, one of the things that we have talked, and we talked across the board, is the main thing for us is continue to partner with associations and organizations that do that, right? There's veteran associations that are driving a lot of change. We have associations that not only drive change for the veterans, but also for active duty. So the partnership piece is going to be critical as we're going forward to ensure that all of them, all the unrepresented, what that means is going to be advocated for. But that is the best way that I can answer. Is going to be with the continued support and partnership from other association organizations that already have a seat in Congress, in the Senate, in the House, that go and advocate for different opportunities for different service members.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope that I answered those questions. There's going to be a message that I'm going to send out by Friday. I wanted to have this conversation first, but I'm going to send a message to all the members, and lifetime members and members. And overall, it's basically saying that, hey, ANSO is going to continue, but we're going to follow the guidance. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that we're doing, and we must continue to do as long as we have an all-volunteer force, which was going to be the recruitment, retention, and promotion, and personal and professional development of all our service members, regardless of what service they're in. Okay?
Yes, sir. So I think that sums up for today's, right?
Yep, it is. And there's going to be more coming up. Like I said, podcasts and everything else. We've got amazing podcasts that just came out. But overall, we're good. We're good, and we're going to be more than good. So with change comes opportunities. Some people look at it as a threat, as a challenge, but we're seeing this as an opportunity for us to become creative, be more creative than what we are, for us to adapt, and to ensure that we back up the words that we've been telling everybody, that we needed to be flexible and adaptable, and ensuring that we develop the next generation, right? So we are going to be here. We're going to continue to do that. And this is the time to ensure that what we said, we do, and that we don't come up and people believe that was your sound bites, right? So we're good. We're going to be great, and we'll continue. But as of right now, we're just focusing on those $1,000 scholarships that they're going to be awarded for JROTC cadets across the nation. And that is our main focus right now, to continue to contribute and provide opportunities to those future leaders of the United States.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Hoorah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So we're gonna close now. Applause for everyone to be here tonight. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. And
Hoorah. Thank you all, and have a good day.
as we close right now, it was a credible discussion today. A huge thank you to our president, Jose Luis Montalvan, for sharing all this insight for the ANSO and the way forward. And of course, a big thank you for our host, Denisa D. James, to lead this conversation. We hope tonight's Fireside has given you perspective on leadership, mentorship, and overcoming obstacles. But the conversation doesn't stop there. So if you enjoy this conversation, be sure to follow ANSO on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Spotify, where this episode will be available for replay. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an opportunity to learn and grow with us. On behalf of ANSO, thank you for all being part of this event. Keep striving, keep leading, and keep making an impact. I'm Manuel Carlo, wishing you all great evening. See you on the next Fireside Chat.